Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since I last recorded a video. I just thought I'd give you an update. So I got this book. It's Viktor Gulenko's Psychological Types, Why Are People So Different? And I thought I'd get this book to have a read through, see what new ideas he has, what essentially he's been working on the last few years. But I'll give a review on that later. What I'd like to focus on just today is his justification for Model G. Now, you may know that I've been quite skeptical of Model G in the past, and I hope from getting this book I get some answers in terms of why Viktor Gulenko created Model G. And at least it seems from this book that the answer has been given, and I'll read it to you now. Model G, coined by Viktor Gulenko decades ago and represented by the humanitarian Socionics school. Model G depicts the qualitative changes of energy aspect inside of sociotype in the process of contact with the surrounding. That's one thing you'll notice from this book. It's a bit clunky in terms of the translation from Russian to English in some places. The profile descriptions are mostly okay in that regard, but a lot of the definitions provided in the back, they don't make a lot of sense in English, but will persist. Why was the energy model developed? The focus of modern socionics should be modeling energy information processes, how energy generates information, a new order, valuable experience, or proven knowledge in practice. After all, knowledge, information, armament, even the most reliable, without the application, is worthless. In order to start using it, you need energy. The impact of a word as a carrier of information on a person or a group of people is ineffective unless energy is produced. That is, there is also need to excite or interest a person, to transfer to a higher energy level. Practicing psychologists, PR specialists, and political technologists have known this for a long time. The energy of the psyche begins to come to the fore. Proceeding from such considerations, an energy model of the psyche has been developed as more closely matching the criterion of optimal vital activity in the material world. The energy model of a socionic object does not abolish Model A, but complements it to a unified model of energy information metabolism. It describes qualitative energy transformations within the sociotype in the process of interaction with the surrounding reality. So, well, it's certainly interesting to say the least. Now, looking back at the history of these ideas, it's important to look at Antoni Kopinski, the guy who came up with information metabolism in the first place. Now, he first came up with this idea as an analogy to another term, which fittingly is also called energy metabolism. And his idea of energy metabolism, well, that which is commonly regarded in biological sciences, is that energy metabolism would be how we break down food into energy. If you were to eat a hamburger and to digest it in your stomach and have it converted into energy that's in your mitochondrial cells after being absorbed through your small intestines, that would be energy metabolism. And what Gulenko's doing is taking a completely different thing and calling that energy metabolism. So, yes, he's taken a sort of socionic model, but instead of using it to describe how he processes information, he's saying it purely describes changes of energy states in a particular type. Now, he does, as I've just read, say that the information and the energy go together in an overall model, a complementary model, which is good to hear, that information metabolism is abolished. But I wonder if it's even necessary to make that distinction. We already talk about the types of information metabolism in Model A as if they are also metabolizing energy. We talk about them in terms of behaviors, certain traits, certain tendencies, what they're likely to do, what they're unlikely to do. This is all straying into the realm of energy. In fact, I would say that one of the things which makes socionics different to, say, the sort of rarefied Jungian cognitive functions, which you see being used in more of the Myers-Briggs community, is that it isn't purely cognitive. It has already shown the bridge between the cognitive and the behavioral. It already describes the energy, as it were. And Gulenko seems to be paying that no attention. He seems to be saying, no, information and energy are separate. We need completely separate models, despite creating a complementary theory which will eventually use both. I think we're already using both. That's what we're already doing in Model A. If you read Gulenko's profiles, it does show very similar sorts of things that we see in Model A. It's ordered differently because it's got Model G functions, but it does essentially the same thing. It doesn't seem distinctly different. It doesn't use distinctly different language. So look, I mean, Eiley is... No, let's go to Model G. Here we go. Yeah. He is strong in seeing the promise of new ideas and projects. This is Eiley, my type. He is interested in all in the world in the hope of finding something unique, but he quickly abandons ideas that turn out to be unpromising and switches to something new. He has a variety of interests. If Model G is something substantially and fundamentally different from Model A, why is it that the leading function in both, in Model A and Model G, has almost identical descriptions? This is something which would be written in the Model A profile. Why is it the same in the Model G profile if these two things are meant to be so different? And this is why I think that what Gulenko is doing is not merely splitting hairs unnecessarily, but essentially redesigning the wheel, putting the wool over our eyes in this. Either that, he doesn't have a clue what he's doing. I think it's more likely he's pulling the wool over our eyes, because Gulenko should know what he's doing. He's one of the most well-known and one of the most experienced socionists in the world. Well, suffice to say, I'm not too impressed at the idea.